G'day, y'all. It's The Edward Show. I'm your host, Edward Fox, and together we're going to dive into the lives and stories of extraordinary individuals I meet from every corner of our globe. G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox with another great episode of The Edward Show. And my special guest today is Charles Higgins. He's a friend of mine that we met through networking probably a couple of years ago now, Charles, when I first moved to the Tennessee area. Where are you located in Tennessee?
So I am about an hour south of Nashville. I'm just south of Murfreesboro. If you've ever heard of Bonnaroo, that's where I'm at.
No? Okay.
Yep, that's a big music festival that goes down every year.
Bell Buckle out your way? Is Bell Buckle?
So I'm just past Bell Buckle.
Okay.
As you're coming down from Murfreesboro, I'm in a town called Manchester.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just Bell Buckle's kind of in between Murfreesboro and Manchester. So yeah,
I have a pension. Pension. However you say that. I have a need for moon pies, and I'm told that there's a shop in Bell Buckle that has all the different flavors. So I'm getting down there. But so Charles, tell us a little bit about. You're in the marketing field. You have a CRM that is pretty cool. In that, so many of us as small business owners, we have a billion different products trying to do the whole customer journey and that sort of stuff. And wow, man, just when we've talked before, it's just amazing. So I wanted to get you on the show, talk a little bit about where you came from to how you ended up being where you're at and what you're doing, and then talk us through what you provide, and I'll jump in and try and make a dad joke or two occasionally.
Well, that sounds good. I like your jokes. So a little bit about me. I come from 25 years in automotive. I worked at the manufacturer level. I started off as a national sales trainer for Toyota Motor Corporation and technology implementer. This was just as websites and CRMs were just starting to even be talked about. They weren't even really in dealerships at that point. And so I did that for about 4 years, got tired of being on the road 300 plus days out of the year, and went down to the dealer group level, worked for several large groups doing marketing, advertising, sales, running call centers, business development centers, and then went back to work at the manufacturer level for Ford Direct, which is their digital arm of Ford Motor Company. They're the ones that do all the marketing and advertising, digital assets.
Right.
And so I was a digital trainer for rural stores, basically the Ford stores, which there's a lot of them that are out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
They're in between a cow pasture and a cornfield. And my job was basically to bring them into the 21st century, take them to the understanding that I get your culture, I get your local, vibe, because I came from a small town. And it was my job to teach them how they could use today's technology and not lose who they were, that the two could coexist and they could still feel like a small hometown store, but still utilize a lot of the latest technology with digital retailing, websites and analytics and all this fun stuff that we love to hear about, but have a hard time understanding how to implement it into our business. And then I started coaching sales professionals. So transferred from automotive, teaching automotive sales reps how to better sell, build better relationships, and then went into other industries like real estate, insurance, finance, coaching sales professionals. But then I kept running into the same problem, that they hit their bandwidth limit. As an individual representative, whether you're a commission sales or you're an entrepreneur,
You can only spin so many plates.
there's only so many things you can get done in a day.
Right.
You can only make so many phone calls. You can only send so many emails or text messages. And so you're inevitably losing business every day because you're too good at your job.
Right.
Which is a horrible predicament to be in. I mean, it's good, but it's bad at the same time. And what I found is that, coming from automotive, I've used for about every CRM that's out there on the market to some extent, but they're just not cost effective. They're not user friendly. They're very complicated. They usually don't provide everything that you need in one place. You still have to get bolt-ons, and the cost point of entry was just unreachable for individuals, for commission salespeople, for entrepreneurs. And then as I started looking at the market, small businesses, micro businesses, as I call them, those startups, 1 to 5 employees,
Right.
they had the same problem. And so what ends up happening is they're using all these different freemium products, and they've got 30
HubSpot,
tabs. Oh
Zoho,
gosh, yeah,
MailChimp,
yeah.
Gmail, yeah, you name it.
So they got all this stuff open every day, 30 different tabs trying to run their business, and they're wasting so much time doing double, triple data entry. Plus, they're losing a lot of information just in the transfer. And so I was like, there's got to be a better way. And couldn't find a better way. So I created a better way. I was like, this is insanity. So that's how Pinnacle AI CRM was born. It was born
So
out
this
of the
sounds like
necessity.
it's been a 25, 30-year journey to
Yeah.
get to where you're at today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's taking everything that I learned in automotive when it came down to customer relationship management, tracking sales data, making the best informed decisions for your marketing and advertising, how to build relationships. It's taking all this and putting it into a system that people can actually, our goal is after you do your onboarding, we provide a fully built system. We don't just hand you an empty box and say, thanks for signing up. Good luck. Like most CRM companies, we give you a fully built system because we want, after your onboarding, we want you to see that immediate benefit. We want it to start working for you.
Right.
And that's one of the things that sets us apart.
Yeah, and I you know what, it's like you're reading what's on my other screen with all my different tabs open and all the different things that I do, and we've got a system through the franchise that's actually working now. But yeah, all of those bolt-ons that we had to do before I had a franchise business was exactly right. And then most of your smaller franchises don't even do a good job at providing the right tools either. So who could best benefit? What size is the type of business? And I know it runs the gamut, but I think my show tends to go out to those small entrepreneurs, the micro entrepreneurs, like you mentioned. Tell me about the businesses and how they would utilize what you do, or what sets you apart.
Yeah. So we really focus on helping entrepreneurs and micro businesses. So those 1 to 5 startups, we love working with them because we're not just a CRM. We're not just a contact manager like your free HubSpot account. We're not just a CRM like Zoho or HubSpot or Salesforce. We actually have all the tools that you need in one place. So you think of email marketing, text marketing, multi-channel communication, Facebook messages, Instagram DMs, text, email, phone calls, all come into one conversation. Your Google My Business chat, your website chat, all comes into one place. You can do funnels, websites, online courses.
Yeah, because how many times have we got a great lead or a great conversation with a client and we go, oh my goodness, was that WhatsApp? Was that Facebook Messenger? Was that text? Was that email? Was that Instagram? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just actually sent one of those this morning. It wasn't on anything major, but I had a friend, she changed houses and she got a new address. And I said, I don't remember how you sent me that address. Like, were we on the phone and I wrote it down, or did it come through one of the, and I just, so yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get caught with your pants down, and it makes you look like a fool because you're like, I know I've gotten this, but I can't. You spend 30 minutes trying to track down the message between Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, all these different communication channels.
I didn't check LinkedIn. That's probably where she sent it to me.
It may be. Yeah. So, it leads to that customer experience, and think of it, if you have a partner or you have a VA working for you, or, anything to that extent. If I jump into that conversation to answer a question because you're busy on a call, if I don't see the full conversation, I can't get to, maybe I don't have access to your Facebook page or your Instagram DMs. I'm missing a whole part of the conversation. And maybe you quoted something over the phone. In our system, I can go back and listen to that recorded phone call. Say, okay, that was the quote that Ed put out there. I get it. We'll roll with that. But it just leads to better, service is all about communication. And if you don't have the communication, your service is going to suffer greatly.
And in this day and age, there is no excuse. If you've got a tool like that, I think the hardest part is there's a bunch of people out there that don't even know it exists, that don't know that they can do it a more concise way.
Yeah. And typically, I mean, just to kind of put it in perspective, when we go into a small business, you know, and I'm talking micro businesses, I'm not talking your up to 500 employee small business.
Right.
I'm talking, you know, 5 or less, you know, yeah. We typically replace anywhere from 8 to 15 different products with R1. We're able to consult. You don't lose any capabilities. Most of the time you gain extra functionality and capabilities. But then you're able to drop off, you know, 8 to 15 different subscriptions for one. All your data is in one place.
And is it paid per seat, or how does it work?
We don't do stair-step pricing. So that was another thing that I absolutely despise in the software world. And I said, I'm not doing it. I don't care if you have one contact or 50,000 contacts. It's $297 a month, no setup fees. We have one-to-one onboarding, 24/7 chat and Zoom support. Because again, it goes to that support and communication. We feel like if you're working, we should be working with you. We're an extension of your team. But it's $297. It doesn't matter if you have 5 people on your team, 10 people, whatever, or it's just one person. Right. I want you to grow your team.
Yeah, when you drop things like Constant Contact and your texting program, and you're probably paying for email stuff like I'm doing, and you're probably paying for this and that and everything else, and you've got 5 members on your team that you're doing all that for, you go, that just makes good financial sense for the business, but it's also going to increase productivity and increase sales, I would imagine.
Yeah, because we have a lot of Pinnacle AI, you know, how do you incorporate AI? So we use a lot of automation and AI in our platform. And it's, you know, Henry Ford had a quote that basically said that, you know, technology advancements like AI and automation are not meant to replace jobs. They're not meant to replace people. They're simply meant to replace the things that you were never meant to do in the first place. We were never meant to sit there and do emails all day long, or text messages, or cold calling. So we use automation and AI to take that task away so that you can focus on actual, like what we're doing face to face, whether it's Zoom or in person. You can work on your business. You can connect with people in person or virtually and build those relationships. You can't automate that relationship. You can automate the emails and the text messages to stay top of mind, but this gives you time to go out to those, you know, local events, go to grand openings, connect with other business owners, and grow your business. And that's what we want to help people do. Get out from behind the desk. Let's go grow your business. We can take care of all this through automation and AI. And so you just find that on average, we give people from the entrepreneur level up to the small business, we usually give people anywhere from 2 to 6 hours back every day.
Wow. That's amazing. So do you have any case studies or stories that you can talk through, you know, protect the names of the innocent, of course, but tell me some of the stuff that you've been able to do.
Well, I mean, I've got, you know, I've got one of my clients, she is a creator. She's a content creator. She does amazing stuff in that world, but her husband is actually in the finance world.
Okay.
And he was going through this huge turmoil of, he had his Calendly and all this other stuff going on. And he's part of a program, you know, as most insurance and finance people are, they sign on with different vendors or products and they represent them. So he went from being kind of in the middle of the road of all the representatives. He is now the number one. The company is actually changing everything that they do to mimic what he's been doing with Pinnacle. And because it's working, all he does, his appointments are automatically booked via our appointment booking bot and through the lead funnels that we have. But to put it in his wife's perspective, because she helps him out with a lot of the marketing and advertising. She came from using ClickFunnels and Kajabi and MailChimp and Constant Contact. She was using all these different platforms to help him run his business. When she came to Pinnacle, they referenced it as, I went from coloring with crayons to now coloring with the best tools out there. She's like, it was night and day. She just couldn't believe that everything fit into one place and that it all actually talked to each other. They didn't have, because at one point they had 3 different phone numbers going out for marketing, because it was different systems.
Like Keep or Infusionsoft, whatever they've got. Everything.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this. It's almost like the Swiss Army knife approach that, so many times we have to do all these add ups, like you were saying, to get to that product. And here's a product that if we looked at it, $297 a month. Come on, even if solo entrepreneurs, if it solves all those problems, then do yourself a favor and check out Pinnacle AI, talk to Charles. And it doesn't really matter where they're at in the country, right? I mean, you can work with them.
No, we have over 300 clients across 9 countries. So, we work with all different businesses, all different. In the entrepreneur side, it is a wide plethora of. We have TikTok coaches, we have health coaches, we have photographers that we're working with. I mean, you name it, we've probably got someone in that industry. And the nice thing is we invite everybody to our Slack channel. So all the Pinnacle users are in a Slack channel together, and they all help each other out. They all communicate, share ideas with each other on how to best leverage the platform, bounce ideas, and they even sell to each other within the Slack, which is they use each other's services, which is even better. So it's a lot of fun.
And with the Pinnacle AI, what's the best way for them to reach out and find you and to learn more about what you do?
Yeah, so you can go to Google and just search us, #GetPinnacleAI, or you can go to getpinnacle.ai. So yeah, that's the best way. But you can just Google us, just type in the Google search, #GetPinnacleAI. You'll be able to find all our social media, our website, and everything else. Or you can just go to getpinnacle.ai.
Sure. And what else? So what else should that prospective person that's like, oh, well, he's talked about some interesting stuff. Do you have any tips or suggestions or ideas? My phone is blowing up today. I don't know what's up with it.
That's a good thing. It's a
good thing. Well, it's mostly telemarketers trying to extend my warranty, I think.
Well, and here's the funny thing. So, and this is a great point. So we offer missed call text back in our system. So if you miss a call because you're busy, we'll actually text that person back saying, how can we help you for you? So you can take that missed call, because everybody hates voicemails. Nobody listens to them. We hate leaving them. But we'll text them back to get that conversation going just from a missed call. And if we don't have their name in the system, we'll ask them their name. So just another example. But my biggest tip, and I actually was on a Money Talks show yesterday, go back through your billing. Break out your banking statement or your credit card statement and take a look at how much you are spending on a monthly basis in subscriptions. Most people would be shocked at how much they're spending, because it's a little bit here, a little bit there. It all gets billed at separate times, so we don't notice this like $20, $30, $40, $50 charge, and then another $10 charge. I mean, we have people that have come to us in very cheap single source products, that they've spread across, and they're like, oh, I don't spend that much. They do an audit on how much they're spending. They're usually spending over $1,000 a month.
Right.
On all these different platforms. So I really encourage people to do that. But then the other thing is, look at your customer journey. If you're having to jump from platform to platform, you've got Calendly, you've got this website over here, you're doing emails out of here, put yourself in the customer's shoe, go to your website, sign up for things as a customer, and watch how many times you have to fill out a form 2 or 3 times with the same exact information. Watch how many different emails come to you from different places, even though it's all the same company. That's your customer journey, and it does affect your success rate. Because if it's too difficult, if people are having to jump from, because if you're having to jump from platform to platform, I guarantee you your customer is, and you're losing money, guaranteed every time. I've seen it way too many times, and it's all about that customer journey. It's all about the experience, because let's be honest, I mean, there's a lot of services and professionals out there that are duplicated.
Right. Yep.
What makes my insurance agent different than the other insurance agent? It comes down to experience. When it comes home inspection time for my home insurance, guess what I don't have to do? Anything. He lives right down the road from me. He stops by my house, says, yep, trees look good, no problems. I never hear from him.
Right.
I even asked him, I'm like, do you even do it? He's like, oh yeah, I just do it on my way to work. It's the experience. And I pay him more than I could get it.
Right.
But it's that experience. People will pay for that experience. But yeah, so those are the 2 things I'd encourage you to do. Go through your billing, see how much you're actually spending a month on all these different tools that you're using. And let's sit down and see what we can consolidate it down to. And then put yourself in the customer's shoe. Really put yourself through that. If you were a customer coming to your website or landing page or whatever it is, social media, look at that response rate. Look at what the actual experience is. Most people would be surprised.
Right. And what's your take on, there's a lot of push right now. What is it? The open AI, the chat GPT. Tell me your thoughts on that.
So it's a great tool. I mean, we have partnered with OpenAI. We use Google AI as well, and we're built on Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud services. But it's a great tool. It is a way to, I was talking to someone today about a nurturing campaign. You should build out a 52-week nurturing campaign. If they come into your funnel, into your sales pipeline, and they don't buy immediately, send them a text or an email once a week. Well, I don't know what I'm going to send for a tip for 52 weeks that's going to be different.
Right.
Like that would take me weeks of beating my head up against a wall trying to figure out 52 different tips to send out. I'm like, go to OpenAI, or better yet, go in our system. We already have a content generator in there.
Right.
And ask it, hey, what are 52 tips around data management? He was a data management company. Mm-hmm. And have it generate it for you. Think about how much time you just saved and frustration.
Yeah.
So now you're not working in your business again. You're working on your business.
Yeah. I just asked it. I just was playing around showing my wife last night. I said, look, I'm going to ask it to give me 10 ways to talk about barter for businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Pop, 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 pop. Right there. And then I said, okay, write 1,000 words on my favorite cricket player. Bop, 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 bop. And it's good. Like, I couldn't tell it wasn't written by somebody, so I think people that aren't playing with it need to. And the fact that you've got it incorporated in different platforms, either, whether it's OpenAI, like you said, or some Google AI as well, there's definitely things that people don't realize. Technology is advancing at a fast pace,
Oh, yeah.
That we need to up our game if we're going to stay relevant as marketers and salespeople and content creators. We need platforms that you can give us, Charles, that allow us to spend more time, like you said, doing this.
Yeah, and we have content creators that use our platform, but they love our content generator inside of it because they'll use it as an outline for a podcast episode. Where they're interviewing with, kind of like what we're doing. They'll say, write an outline for a podcast episode where, Numospec Media is interviewing, XYZ and specializes in this industry. And he'll write out a whole show outline for them. And so it still leaves it open to conversation and interpretation, but it gives them this kind of like core idea of, I would have never even thought to go down that path.
Right.
That's Okay, I'll make that part of my show. And so it takes what would take them days or hours at the least, a matter of minutes, to where they can worry more about being creative and less about not being creative.
And
So,
what do you say, because I know a video is a big part of what you recommend and what you do. For those people that struggle, oh, I can't think of what to say, they could use that to give them an outline of what they could say on their TikTok channel or YouTube channel.
yep.
Whether they're a financial planner, a home inspector, a dentist, a gardener, whatever, a marketer, they could say, give me, what's 100 different or 50 different topics I could talk about, and it's going to give them a list.
Yeah, and we actually have a TikTok script generator within our platform. And so what it'll do is you give it a subject and it will break it out. It'll let you know if it's a 15, 30, or 60-second video, and it breaks it out by timestamps. Here's what to talk. Here's your, voiceover, and here is what you should use as a video or a stock image to portray what you're talking. It'll lay out all the details of your 15, 30, 60-second video for you, with description of what kind of royalty-free videos or images that you can use. So even if you're shy, don't want to be on camera, as long as you can do the voice, and you don't even have to do the voiceover. You could just have it as text on the screen if you really don't want to be on voice or video.
Right.
Gives
and
you
these
everything
days
that you need.
Yeah, and we can download, we can type it up and have some artificial voice say it anyway that doesn't sound artificial. It's an amazing time to live. I'm really excited about technology. Let's wrap this up. Is there any last minute thought you want to share with our listeners?
Just simplify. A lot of times we try to overcomplicate the process by getting, this, that, and the other to try to communicate. Let's simplify. Customer relationship is about the relationship. It's about people. Simplify the process. Create a coherent and friendly user experience. And I promise you, you'll have more success in your business, no matter what it is. If it's on the entrepreneur side or traditional small business, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're commission sales, it's all about that customer relationship and that experience. But it starts with getting yourself in front of people. So
awesome. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show, Charles. I really appreciate it. I've learned a lot.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
G'day again. Well, that's it for the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like us, subscribe, follow, write a 5-star review, all the good stuff. Thanks a lot for listening, and look forward to having you listen to the next one.